Good morning, BC. I'm Ned, and I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, the Okanagan Valley. I've decided to start making these videos. Not very good at them. Trying to be confident behind the camera is one thing, but I've decided, why not? I want to have fun. I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy learning new things, and I love showcasing the things that I do. A part of my wanting to make videos is I suffer from chronic migraines, and I don't have any answers for it. The therapies that I do are minimal, and I am just continually on waiting lists and just waiting. But in the meantime, I figured I want to, one, document myself, that I can leave something behind for my children to enjoy, something that I can hopefully pass on to others and create just fun and enjoyable content. So come along with me and enjoy Adventures with Ned. So in this first video, I've decided to showcase a stove that I made. For Christmas, my wife had gotten me a backpacking haunt tent. So I decided at the end of February to head out for just an overnight trip. A friend of mine and I decided to hike in. We were expecting 5 kilometers approximately. When we got to the area, it's an area that is used by snowmobilers. It's logging roads, and then they turn into snowmobiling trails in the wintertime. We were expecting about 5 kilometers to walk in, but the drop-off point was 5 kilometers sooner. So we ended up having to hike in 10 kilometers. It was exhausting. I was not physically prepared for it. But thankfully, some other friends that joined us had their snowmobiles, picked us up just a couple of kilometers shy of our destination, and towed us in the rest of the way. So we were very grateful for friends with sleds. Ready for our adventure up through Valley Gap Road to Spruce Lake. And this is John. And we're sledding all of our gear in. Hopefully it's not going to be too cold or too tiring, but we've got about 5 to 10K walk in, and we'll see how it goes. Have fun. Part 2. My sled was a little top heavy, had to redesign it, and now we're looking a lot more lean. So 5 minutes in, 200 meters down, and 10 kilometers to go. Where we are, hour and 40 minutes in, 5 kilometers, and we've got a nice hill to go up, and we'll another 5 kilometers to go. Should be fun. All set up now. Fireplace going in a minute. And here I am trying to get my water to boil on top of the stove. My messy layer. Snow melting here. Working well. So I made my own hot tent stove. And I tell you something, I almost died. Something that had never been explained or was really cautioned about in using a do-it-yourself stove. I'll say I learned the hard way, but it was an easy fix, and I was able to adapt to my situation. And once I got it figured out, everything was fine. But definitely discovered some design flaws in my stove, and some things that I'll be able to feature in my my next video when I upgrade the stove. While I had my stove running, I had been back and forth from my tent and visiting with the other friends that had come along. So I hadn't really been paying a whole lot of attention to my fire. The fire had been going strong and weak, strong and weak. I was dealing with some wet wood. Anyways, later on in the evening, as I was getting ready for bed, it was maybe about minus 12 degrees or so at that point, my tent kept filling with smoke. And I'm telling you, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I had smoke pouring in through my chimney. It was snuffing out my fire. Everything had been going so well up until that point. But then it dawned on me, because of the slow burning, I was creating a lot of creosote. And I had plugged my spark arrestor that I had made. And I'll show pictures of what I'm talking about. But until I had discovered what I was doing wrong, I removed the spark arrestor and everything worked fine. And here I am in my workshop again. I'm just improving on the stove design. Just added a damper to the top. That'll allow for better control of my airflow. I just added some JB weld in there to hopefully hold it together. It's supposed to have a heat temperature of 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's hope that will work. Let's just let that dry and we'll go from there. Hey, we're doing a test run of my stove here, just burning off the paint on the inside can. Still have to complete the handle. Just a temporary chimney right now. Nice efficient burn on it. I think I gotta figure out how to slow that down. A little bit of a rocket stove. So here we are with my paint can expanding stove. Yes, I'm using a twig as my door handle. Everything fits. Inside take it apart and build it. So, inside, if you can see, I built a reflector to try to help protect some of the inside, but I found the shape of it was a little difficult. It was creating a very heavy draft at the front and not so much at the back of the stove. So I had to create an extra air hole. But I'll get to that later. It's been sitting since winter. There we go. There we go. Easy peasy. So, and because of the screen inside, I can only collapse it so far. Gotta work it out. Sakes, where is it? Overall, the stove weighs about 5 pounds with everything inside of it. I can't remember exactly how much. Nothing but safety first. My wife always asks me, why don't you ever wear gloves? Honestly, I don't know why. I find I get blisters more from gloves than not. Plus you get dirty. Have it, my expandable paint can stove. I had used a muffler sealant. Worked fairly well. In some of my pictures I did use the red heat resistant caulking. Bad choice, it just melted off. my damper, the JB weld on the inside seems to have held, but I did also connect it to the bolt so I can still turn it. Plate in. Just using a bolt to hold the two plates together. Draft on it. There we have it, my collapsible tent stove. Paint can, ketchup can. Got a grill inside to allow for the airflow underneath. Damper in the front. Like I said, I had to add a hole in the back. My burn was going very poorly because I had, oopsies, extended the chamber too far. I was burning in the front, not in the back, which was building a lot of creosote and causing my fire to go out. So I took my knife, punched a hole in the back, used my multi-tool, and opened it up further. This hole here, I had filled it with the sealant, but again, for a better airflow, I just chipped that out. And my hot plate that I made, I just put the bolts in there to prevent it from tipping. Gave me a nice flat surface to put my my pots or pans on to boil water. Worked out quite well, actually. Okay. My chimney is a piece of aluminum flashing. I don't know how well this will work. Once it heats up, it changes the structure of it. If I was able to find some thin titanium or a sheet steel of some sort would be much better. You can see how much creosote I built up on here because of not properly burning my wood. A little bit crushed here. Definitely need a couple more hose clamps, but this will do for now. chips off after use. I've got a few design changes to make. So that's with the chimney installed. Now, grab my spark arrestor here. See that? That is creosote, and a lot of it. The inside of my screen, I used a small metal sieve to help contain the sparks. Because of the slow burn, it built it up so much so smoke was pouring out from between the edges of my chimney, and had I not figured out to pull this off of my chimney, things would have gotten a lot worse that night. But once I did that, punched that extra hole in the back, my stove worked extremely well. It had given me, let's see, about 2 hours of burn time. It was just enough to help keep the edge off overnight. But next time will be much better, I think. Well, that's it for my first video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun making. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'm looking forward to bringing more of my adventures. I have a lot planned. Look forward to sharing them with you. Thank you, and